Okay, welcome everyone to the second episode of Our Parents' Basement. Bless you. This is a show where four random dudes talk about random things from the crazy and random world of nerd culture. Now, during our first episode last week, you were introduced to us and introduced to the show, but most importantly, you got to hear about all of our adventures at the Louisville Arcade Expo. We looked at some pictures and reminisced on our amazing time, and you can check out that episode on both YouTube and on iTunes. So, really exciting stuff right there. And tonight, we have something different in store for you. But before we get to that, I think it's time to introduce everyone. So, I guess I'll start. I'm Cashel, and I love drinking red wine. So that's what I have right now with me. And with me this evening, we have one of my favorite people of all time, sporting an elegant ponytail. His name is Zach Z, and he is here.
Hello, I'm Zach Z, and I'm wearing a Star Fox shirt right now.
Yes, you are. We also have Turf, who also happens to be one of my favorite people.
What's going on, gentlemen? It's good to be here. Good to have another night with y'all.
Well, thank you. And last but not least, we have Mr. Nikon, and I'll have you all know, America, he is definitely one of my favorite people.
Well, thanks. How you guys doing?
I couldn't ask for a better gathering of geeks for tonight's topics. This should be fun. So, the first thing that we will be talking about this evening may sound a little bit familiar to some of our viewers. As you all know, the four of us are avid video gamers, and usually we are playing something new each week. So tonight, we will be sharing with you guys what we've been playing and our thoughts on them so far. This should be a fun little segment to kind of get to know each other and just, learn about everyone else's tastes in games. So why don't we get this show on the road? I guess I can start. Lately, I have been playing only two things. The first is this. This is called Resonance of Fate. Now in Japan, it's known as End of Eternity, but for some reason they changed it to Resonance of Fate here in the States. I'm not sure why. Either way, this is actually my second time going through this game, and believe it or not, I'm having more fun this time than I was the last time. I've clocked in a little over 100 hours in it, and despite that, I'm kind of sad to see that the end is almost here. This is an RPG that kind of turns the genre on its head. Everything about this game is unlike anything you've ever played before. Like, battles have a really steep learning curve. The story is slightly disjointed. Exploring the world map is more like a puzzle game. It's all these features that kind of make this a love it or hate it type of game. I love it. And if you like something different, I recommend this. I'm having so much fun my second time around. So this is one thing I've been playing. And the other thing I've been playing, actually just finished it this afternoon right before the podcast started. It's this, Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland. Kirby is my all-time favorite Nintendo mascot, and this is actually an enhanced port of Kirby's Adventure that was on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I just adore this game. I adore any chance I get to play as Kirby in a traditional title. I mean, this isn't one of his puzzle games. This isn't his stupid golf game. This is a good old-fashioned Kirby title with copy abilities and Wispy Woods and, Meta Knight, the whole nine. If you're a Kirby fan, I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy this. I really had a good time with it. The only thing I didn't like about it is that even though it's an enhanced port, I feel like they didn't enhance enough with this game. So either way, fun little Game Boy Advance game, and I really had a good time with it. So that's really all I've been playing. Sometimes life gets in the way of game time. But moving on, let's see what everyone else has been playing. So why don't we go to Zach Zebra, if you will. What have you been playing lately?
Well, first off, I've just been kind of on a Pokemon kick lately. I don't know why. I've just been really wanting to play those games. So I've been playing Pokemon Colosseum. That's one of the ones I've been playing. I'll actually go into little bit of detail about this later. Hint, hint. The upcoming stuff.
Spoiler alert.
Another one, Pokemon Omega Ruby. It's a remake of, well, Pokemon Ruby with the enhancements that they've had throughout the years. Very good game. And just really enjoying that one. And finally, Pokken Tournament.
That's recent. That just came
Yeah.
out, didn't it?
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. There's not really a game like it to describe it. Closest thing is actually probably Smash Brothers.
Really?
Yeah, and the fact that there's just how simplistic it is, but yet how much it can actually easy to play, hard to master type of game.
I get you. I get you. I heard,
Yeah.
Someone told me it's kind of more like Tekken, so that's not true then? It's more like Smash?
Nah, it's definitely more like Smash Brothers.
Cool. Okay.
It was made by the Tekken whatever, and then how it got that, or
Yeah,
people are saying that.
yeah, it
Maybe
was
that's
made by
what it
the
was.
guys who made Tekken, but it doesn't feel like a Tekken game. It really just stands on its own.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. I just wish that there was more of a roster because, especially with single player, you're battling so much, and where it's only a certain amount of characters or opponents.
Gotcha.
You
Interesting.
kind of wish a little bit bigger roster, but the main one that I've been just maining is Gardevoir, who is a technical character, which is different for me because I normally go for the speed characters.
Cool. So you've been playing some Pokemon stuff lately, it sounds like only.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, then. Let's go down the line here. Unless there's more.
That's all.
Okay, cool. Mr. Nikon, how about yourself?
I just got some new games, so I've been playing. This is the Go-Go Aikman, whatever.
I like that cover art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little platformer. It's based on a manga.
Manga?
Yeah. I don't read it, so.
That's okay.
But it's fun. You're pretty much this little devil character fighting against some little cherub angel guy. So it's fun. I just started playing it, so just still getting used to this guy. And also,
I noticed it's a Super Famicom game.
yes,
Is it hard to play without any Japanese knowledge, or are you getting by? Okay.
yeah, you don't need any Japanese knowledge at all for it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the art on it is done by Akira Toriyama, who, of course, is best known for Dragon Ball,
Okay.
who also did Dragon Quest, Blue Dragon, and Chrono Trigger artwork.
So he's done more than just Dragon Quest and all that stuff, and Dragon Ball mainly. Looks like he's done more games. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I saw that cover, the character reminded me of Kid Trunks.
Yeah, Kid Trunks. Forgot about Kid. I used to watch that show on Toonami, long time ago. He also did the artwork for Tobal #1 fighting game on the PlayStation. Not sure if anyone's played that, but me. But that's neither here nor there. Mr. Nikon, what else have you been playing? I just cut you off.
I've been playing this Godzilla.
Gojira.
It is I think Godzilla Kaiju Battle or something like that. It almost got released into the United States, but apparently, for some reason it got canceled. It's pretty much like a Street Fighter, but with Godzilla characters.
That sounds awesome.
Really?
Yeah. So you can fight, as Godzilla or Mechagodzilla or, Mothra, etc., etc.
Cool.
It's pretty fun. So.
I guess I'm not a good geek because I know very little about Godzilla other than like Mothra and Godzilla, Mechagodzilla. I know there's that three-headed thing.
I think that's King Ghidorah.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, so I'm not a very good geek, but that still sounds awesome. I'd love to give a like Street Fighter with classic monsters, a go.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of of kaiju, all the Japanese monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we actually lost out on a pretty good amount of fighting games.
yeah,
Because, I personally really enjoyed Yu Yu Hakusho 2. And that one's based on, of course, the anime of the same name. But it's definitely a good fighting game from what I've played.
I didn't know they made a fighting game based off Yu Yu Hakusho. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. What else, Mr. Nikon?
that's about it, really.
That's about it for now?
Yeah.
Cool. I like the variety. And that brings us to our favorite Southern gentleman, Turf. What have you been playing as of late?
I took a dark, dirty trip to a very seedy place called Steam.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't. I know, dude, I know. Trust me. I feel like I needed a bath and go to church just as soon as I got done.
Bathe in blood of virgins.
I'm a
It's not
very
that
much
bad.
physical release kind of guy. I want to be able to hold whatever I have in my hand, and I want to own the game. I want to own the I want to be able to touch it. I want to be able to lick it, smell it, taste it, whatever. But there's this thing called Steam out there that has all these glorious games for very cheap prices. And I found Broforce.
Uh-oh.
He found something, but he's...
Broforce.
Oh, Broforce.
Or Red
Yeah.
Blood. No.
Okay. He's...
Broforce. All right, cool.
Broforce, okay.
If you're not playing Broforce or you haven't played Broforce, you're doing something wrong, because it's over the top, like Metal Slug or like Contra on meth. It's
I like that term.
it's insane. It's and then you've got the characters like Rambro and Command Bro, and they're like
Isn't there
based
one-
on Rambo and Commando, and then you have like Bro Cop.
Oh, my God.
Isn't there one based on Ash Williams?
There is. I can't remember his name. It's Ash.
Brilliant?
Bro?
Oh well, I can't. Who knows, man? But there's like all these crazy 80s and 90s action movies that the characters named after it, and they have like there's what was it? There's a MacGyver one too, and I can't remember his name.
Okay.
But he like throws dynamite, and then he'll like his special move is he throws like a Thanksgiving turkey out with dynamite shoved in its cavity, and then you hit another button and it explodes like a remote mine. Oh my gosh, it's so silly, so fun. There's people blowing up and pieces and blood, spit and ass going everywhere, and dude, I've had so much fun playing Broforce. It hits me right in the wheelhouse. It was built for guys that like the silly action movies. That if you liked Expendables, you'll like this game. There's a point, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to rid the world of terrorism. Very George W. Bush style, and it's just they've got like silly names for the countries that are like Iraqistan or
Oh my God.
Iranistan, maybe one of them. And I don't know, maybe that is a country, maybe it's not. We're gonna invade it anyways. It's
Yeah.
it's silly, it's fun, and if you haven't played Broforce, you can get it on PSN or I think it's on Xbox One. And if it's not, go to the dirty, naughty Steam and play it.
It's kind of
man, I
it's
can't gush
interesting
about it enough.
It's interesting that you say how it reminds you of Expendables, meaning how the expansion for it is called Expendabros.
And it has the expendable characters in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like $7.50 or $7 something on Steam, and I've got $100 worth of good times out of it. It was definitely worth every penny.
Yeah.
And let's see.
And it's currently free on PS Plus right now, I believe. Did we lose him again? Yep.
Well,
Alright.
I like his look. I like the look he's giving us. So
Yeah.
darn, it's a
Sorry to
shame.
anybody who's just listening to audio only.
For anyone who's listening to audio only, Turf's internet has improved drastically over the months, but still not quite there yet.
Hey, there I am.
So, there. Oh, he's back.
Still
Well,
frozen now. Oh, there we go.
maybe.
Guys, I'm sorry.
That's
all
okay.
good.
So you've been playing Broforce. What else have you been playing?
Okay, I went to another place on the internet called GOG.
Oh,
Turf.
good old
What is
game.
wrong with you?
Dude, I know.
Shame.
I know.
Shamey.
I know.
hey, you know what?
But,
It's hard
okay,
to play those old PC games.
Exactly. There's old PC games out there, and then you go to GOG and you can play them. I started playing King's Quest VI. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And then my enabler, my little brother, told me, he's like, well, you can go to GOG and it's there. It's like $10 for 5 and 6. I'm like, oh, really, fool? Oh, really? So next thing you know, I'm downloaded King's Quest, and dude, the storytelling in King's Quest cannot be beat. It's fun. It's a little silly. There's good jokes. It's wholesome fun, I guess. So me and my boy can play it together. It's a point-and-click adventure. If you've never played King's Quest, man, I suggest you probably start with 5 because it's the first point-and-click one, and then stop with 6 because it was the last good one in my opinion. But then, there's a whole mythology, a whole world through all these games. You play as the royal family of Daventry. It's Graham, and I can't remember his wife's name. And then Alexander's her son, and Rosella is their daughter. And you go through their adventures as not as a family. I guess each character has its own adventures through the series. But man, I've loved it. I've loved it ever since the 90s whenever King's Quest was a thing.
Cool. And now you can play it without a physical copy.
Yeah, I've been playing it again. I have a physical copy. I've got the King's Quest collection.
Oh, okay.
But it's hard to get it to run on modern PCs. So you go to GOG, you download it, and the world's okay. And I do. I sound like somebody that's like, it's okay. Just try the downloadable games. Just try it. It'll be okay. Just this once. Just this once. Next thing you know, I'm mainlining Steam games and just gotta have more. That's what I'm doing. I'm just hoping that I don't get sucked into the summer sale or the spring sale or whatever those Steam people call that.
Well, just say no. That's what we say. A lot of variety here. Is there anything else you've been getting yourself into?
Oh man, that's really about all of as far as playing. I've just been, that's about all I've been playing. I guess is the Steam stuff, and then I haven't bought any new games I guess since last week, and I haven't played anything different other than Broforce.
Well, very, very cool. I really like this segment because it just kind of shows everyone, how different our taste in games is. Like every game mentioned, well, almost all the games mentioned kind of piqued my interest a little bit. So this gives all of us a chance to try something new, go outside of our comfort zone. And speaking of which, we are now going to move on to our next topic. And this is something that we'll be calling Convince Me. I'm going to hand the floor over to Turf. Turf, can you introduce this topic for us? This was kind of your idea.
Yes, sir. Like we Castle just said, we all have very different tastes. We have very different styles of games that we like that we kind of gravitate towards. But just because you're used to a normal, one type of game, doesn't mean that I'm not going to enjoy something else. So it may not be on my radar or something to try one of these other games. And likewise with these other guys, they may not have known to try a run and gun stupid Broforce game, but I'm going to gush about it, and even though Cashel's a RPG guy, he may go, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot for $7 and then really enjoy it. So, and we're going to kind of take an opportunity, take a couple 3 minutes apiece to try to convince each other and our audience to give something else a shot. Is there anybody that wants to go first? If not, I'll jump in there.
Tariff, you go first. This is your shtick. I want you to go first.
Okay. Well,
Convince us.
what I've decided, and like I mentioned last week, and y'all will hear plenty, I'm a huge NES fan. Most of the hidden gems that you'll hear me gush about are NES games, and tonight's not any different. I've picked out an NES game that I wanted to be the first one to tell y'all about, and it's not something that people generally talk about. It's not a Mario or a Little Samson that you hear. You know, everybody knows that it's a platformer, even though it's a crazy expensive game. Everybody knows Mario. Everybody knows Contra. Everybody knows Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Well, tonight I'm a big fan of this type of game. This one is Kickle Cubicle. Kickle, and I was going to do a screen share and show y'all a picture, but I couldn't get it to work, so we're just going to talk about Kickle Cubicle. If you want to know more about it, slap the old Google button. Y'all can look at a picture while we're doing this. Maybe you downloaded it on iTunes. Maybe you're listening to me on Stitcher. Maybe this is on YouTube. Either any of these, just go ahead and Google Kickle Cubicle. Look at the picture while I tell you the sweet goodness that it is. It was released in September of 1990 by Ireme for the NES. You play Kickle, which is a little snowman-looking dude. And I don't know any real, other than the little backstory it gives you, which NES games they don't have much of a backstory. They just have a few blurbs at the beginning, and then you got to follow some pictures, and then you just play the game because it's fun, not because you're getting sucked into this deep universe. You're in the Fantasy Kingdom, and the Wicked Wizard King, that's really what his name is, the Wicked Wizard King has turned the Fantasy Kingdom completely to ice, which kind of makes sense, but kind of doesn't, because you're already a snowman. I don't know if I was something else, and then he turned me into a snowman. But anyways, I'm a snowman in the ice world, but I'm trying to turn the vegetable people loose. And I know it sounds silly. Just bear with me. It's a puzzle game. If you liked Adventures of Lolo, if you liked was it Pango? Was that the arcade game that's kind of the penguin with the egg deal?
Oh, was that his name?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, we know what you're talking about. So
it's that type of game. It's it's grid based, so you move up 1 over 1.
Yeah.
When you push up, and you've got the enemies are coming at you. You have to shoot them with your freeze breath, and then you can kick them, and then you end up making a path to collect the red sacks, I think they're called red sacks. They're red little bags that have the citizens of Fantasy Kingdom in them. So you're trying to rescue these folks, and then as you freeze the guys, you kick them in the water, you make the path, you get all you're going for points. That's kind of what the old Nintendo games were about. You're going for points, and then there's some boss fights in there, and it's just genuinely it's simple. It's very colorful, very cartoony, I guess. It's just a good time. If you like puzzle games at all, especially like Adventures of Lolo, because that'd be the closest thing I could compare it to. If you like that type of game, you will love Kickle Cubicle. It's good. I think it's relatively cheap. It's less than $15. I think it might be 15 to 20. It's still not an expensive game by any stretch of the imagination. And my usual stance on these things: if you don't have an NES, if you don't want an NES, emulate it. Just go ahead, download something somewhere legally if you already own the cartridge, and emulate it. Man, it's a good time. It's fun. Nobody should be robbed of this. It's so much fun.
Now, Kickle Cubicle, that's a mouthful. How do you spell that so our viewers can actually type it in? And
Kickle, just kickle, and then cubicle.
Like a place where office workers are?
Right, where we leave our souls.
Where we live, yeah. Ain't that the truth? Cool. And you said it wasn't that much. That was like less than $15.
It's I'd say right around 15, between 10 and 15 would be my guess. But if it is more than that, y'all don't sue me, because I know it's less than 20, because it's not a hard game to find, and it's one of those little people will leave set on the shelf because they don't know what it is, and it's definitely worth your time and definitely worth your money.
And prices do fluctuate over time, so.
That's true. They do. Yeah, this industry is really volatile, so hard to say. But it's not crazy expensive. It sounds like it's pretty easy to find, and it sounds like a lot of fun, and it's like simple fun, like just pop in, play, finish it in an hour or two, and then move on. Is that
Exactly. You're not going to have to dedicate your life to this. You're just going to have. You're going to sit down. You're going to play it. You're going to rot your mind for a little while, relax, just chill out, and go about your day. And there's a password feature if you want to finish some more. Just jot down your little password on your notepad, and then come back to it later.
or take a picture of the screen with your smartphone?
Yep.
That's what I would do.
Don't act like this is what year is this? 2016. We don't have stuff like that. We have pen and paper, like God intended.
And then get out your Polaroid camera and just, shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Your number 2 pencil.
Or yeah, if you want to be old school, write it down. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I never heard of that game before.
It kind of reminds me of Dig Dug a little bit, the way you described it.
Oh yeah, is it kind of like that?
It is a little bit like Dig Dug. It's actually it's probably more like Dig Dug 2 for the NES than it would be for the first one, because
Okay.
you don't have to attack all the enemies head on. You just have to be able to attack them enough to kick them into the water to cross over to the next island, or to get them the obstacle out of your way to get the red bags.
Cool. Well, I really like that suggestion. I think I'm gonna look into it. It sounds like good, simple fun. So, thanks for the recommendation, Turf. You've convinced me, for what it's worth. So, let's move on then. Mr. Nikon, I want you to convince
What's up?
us about one game that you want us to try.
Okay, I'm going to more of an arcade game.
Okay.
Made by Rockola. Yeah, but they did Nibbler and all that. This is a little bit more obscure. It's called Eyes.
Eyes.
Yeah.
EYES.
Eyes.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Pac-Man thing. It's the same maze, but you're an eye, and you gotta shoot other eyes in the whole maze and collect little objects for the whole game. It's pretty fun, pretty challenging. Whenever I go to the arcade, that's one of the first games I end up starting playing. And I end up playing for most of the time I'm there.
The Galloping Ghost.
Yep, at the Galloping Ghost. It's another game, since it's an arcade machine, you could emulate it, download it from wherever you find emulation whatevers, and just try it out. It's trying to figure out what else I could say about it. It is like Pac-Man, but instead you get to shoot at the other eyes that are coming after to attack you.
So you say it's like Pac-Man. So are you going through a maze and just instead of chomping,
Yeah.
you're shooting?
You're shooting at the eyes and you're collecting different objects. They're not all in the same, not a continuous stream of them.
Okay, cool.
So
It sounds kind of like Kickle Cubicle. It sounds kind of simple and fun, and just I don't want to say mindless. I hate using that term for video games, but you can kind of put your brain on autopilot and still succeed, type of thing.
not really.
Is it challenging?
The first level was pretty easy. As you get on, the levels get more and more intense.
Okay.
Speed of the enemies get quicker and quicker.
Yeah.
So you gotta get your patterns down right. So it's like with the
Okay.
original Pac-Man. If you do certain patterns, you can easily beat the game.
Gotcha.
So,
Cool. Eyes. Only in arcades, but there are ways around that.
yeah.
America. So, well, that sounds like fun too.
Yeah.
So far, I think we're 2 for 2 with this, and I like it. So, anything else you want to say about it, Mr. Nikon?
Not really. Just try it out.
Cool.
It's highly addictive.
Always very important for a video game.
Yes.
So, okay. Well then, next on my list is Red Blaze. Oh my God. Sorry, old habits. Zach Z rather.
And just go Zach.
Zach, but whoever you are, it's your turn.
Anyways, my pick is a little different. It's a fairly well-known franchise, but this game, you just don't hear people talk about it. It's Pokemon Coliseum.
Okay.
It's different than your normal Pokemon game. You don't have 8 gyms to go through. You don't have hundreds of Pokemon to catch. Where you start off, you play as an anti-hero in the game. You are a former member of what in this region is called Team Snag'em, who basically steal Pokemon. And where throughout it, there are these ones called Shadow Pokemon, and where your mission throughout it is to capture all the Shadow Pokemon and purify them. You play as an older protagonist, in where you start off as an Eevee or an Espeon and an Umbreon, which are two of Eevee's evolutions. They are really good. It's one of those games where it's just interesting because throughout it you do what are known as double battles, which you have two team members out on the field every time instead of the normal one-on-one. So it's a different type of strategy that you need as opposed to your normal Pokemon game.
Now, I saw it was for the GameCube. A lot of times GameCube games can be kind of pricey. Is that one pricey?
It has shot up, definitely, I noticed, but I mean, back when I got actually this copy, it was $10.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, real quick, I'll just look on eBay.
Well, while you're doing that, there's been other Pokemon Coliseums in the past. Is this any different from those?
They use some of the art aspects from Stadium 2 as far as the designs of Generation 2 and 1 Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they're just upscaled and all new designs for the Generation 3. And right now, I'm seeing ones on eBay for 22, 23, 12.
12 is good.
Yeah.
Well,
as long as you're not going for one with the bonus disc, you should be fine.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this then. How long is the game? Like, how many hours are we looking at? Bang for the buck type of deal.
It's one of those that I've just restarted playing not that long ago. I'm probably about. I don't know how long it's. Let's see. Actually, I know just where to look. Possibly.
Well, I always ask that question because a lot of times you don't want to pay top dollar for a game that's over within 10 to 20 hours. Panzer Dragoon Saga. So that's why I wanted to ask if there was if we're looking at a good, solid, lengthy campaign or not. I mean, some Pokemon games are over, in a good 50 to 60 hours. So maybe this is like one of them.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea, a Let's Play of it lasted 46 episodes, which was time spanning from 16 to 25 minutes each.
I have one final question about this game. I have not played a Pokemon since Pokemon Gold for the Game Boy Color. Will people who are either out of the Pokemon kick or really, really casual Pokemon fans, will they enjoy this too?
It's something that you should definitely play if you want to play a Pokemon game, but don't want to do the whole 8 gym badges, defeat the evil team type thing. It's a different beast from the other ones.
Okay. Interesting.
But,
Well, do you, Mr. Nikon Turf, do you guys have questions for him about that? I'm doing all this asking here, putting him on the spot.
I do. This isn't really as much about Pokemon Coliseum as it is just Pokemon in general. I've never played a Pokemon game. I was a little older. I was too cool for Pokemon when it came out. My little brother was into it. I was probably about 15 or so, but it hit him right in the wheelhouse. It was about 8 when it came out. So we did have Pokemon stuff around the house. How long of a game is if I wanted to sit down and play Pokemon Red? How many hours am I going to sink into that?
That really all depends.
Yeah. I played red as well, and I wanted to get them all. Luckily, my brother had blue, so between the two of us, I think we spent about 30 hours apiece just getting everything that was limited to our games and then trading them back and forth. But if you just want to get your favorite 6 Pokemon, you can hold at a time, I think it is.
Yeah.
10 to 20 hours at most, not that long.
Okay, I just kind of curious because like I said, I've never played one.
Yeah. Like I said, if you're going to go for one to complete, that one is probably going to be the easiest because there's only 48 Pokemon throughout the whole game.
In the one you recommended.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you can actually catch.
Okay, cool.
And where you can go and transfer them to Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and then just bring them up through the generations.
Sweet. Well, very interesting recommendation.
Yeah, I don't
Personally,
know if
I'm
I
not.
convinced anybody, but it's one of those games that people don't mention that often, and where when people say that Pokemon's always the same, I'll point that out, and where people will be like, "Huh, no, I haven't."
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I'm not. I'm getting convinced, but I'm not 100% convinced yet. But based on your description of it, it sounds like it could be a lot of fun. It sounds different, but still retains that classic Pokemon feel. It has a story that's kind of neat, for a
Yeah,
Pokemon game. So
it's definitely more story based, and where I mean, opening scene, you're blowing up the Snagum hideout, and then riding off on a one-wheeled motorcycle.
okay, that's pretty cool. Anything else to say about that one?
No, not much.
I'm not sure if you convinced any of the other members on our panel, but Mr. Nikon's
As long
like,
as I intrigue somebody.
You intrigued me.
Never played Pokemon at all, ever.
Yeah, I figured that it would be hard to get people who haven't played a Pokemon game before, but if you have and you want something different, definitely check it out.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I will go next. The game I'm going to recommend should come as no surprise. It's an RPG on my favorite console of all time, the PlayStation 2, so big surprise there. This is a game that was released, I believe, around the same time the PS2 was released, maybe like a few months afterwards. It says 2001, but I'm not sure if it's 2001 or 2002. So the game I'm going to recommend is called Suganai Atonement. Let me give you a little bit of a breakdown of the story, which I think is really unique. You play as a mercenary named Reese, and Reese travels to this forbidden island, and he does some actions to anger the gods. As a result, he gets, cursploded, if you will, and turns into a spirit. Now, in order to regain his body, which is miraculously still intact, he needs to possess other people and solve their problems. Okay, you're like, okay, that sounds kind of lame. Well, it can be something as simple as possessing someone who lost his wallet and finding his wallet, or you can be more in depth. You can go possess a warrior and go into a ghost ship and cause it to sink. You can possess a monk and go through trials in a haunted cathedral. There's a lot of variety in the atoning, basically, the title, and the atoning that you have to do, and it's really unique. It's just a really clever concept, and I mean, obviously, if you can tell from the cover art, this is an old PS2 game. The graphics are kind of, they're not so good. That being said, the story is really unique, and kind of to add to that, the battle system is, I think, equally unique. It's kind of it's turn-based, so it's pretty straightforward at first. For those who played, Mario RPG or Legend of Dragoon, you have to time your hits to do more damage. That's what this is all about. You have so many options to time your hits. It makes each battle different from the last. I mean, yeah, you'll fight the same goblin or the same slime, but I mean, the way you go about the battle is, it's entirely up to you. You can try to power through it, or you can try to be more technical. And if I still haven't convinced you yet on it, I highly recommend at least giving the music a listen. This is some of Yasunori Mitsuda's best work. He's a guy who did the soundtrack to Chrono Trigger, Xenogears. He did more recently Stella Glow. This is a great collection of music. I would actually say this is his best work of all time. And I don't say that lightly because I love that composer. So it's not a game that the casual RPG fan may go to, but if you consider yourself a veteran RPG player, or you want something more challenging because there are some difficulty spikes, I highly recommend it. And I think what I really liked most about it is it's only like 30 hours long, and when I bought my copy, which was not too long ago, it was $5 complete. I mean, this has everything: manual, discs, insert art. For $5, I mean, you can't go wrong. If you don't like it, I mean, you would spend less on a Hot Pocket. That's why. I mean, this is my game. I'm trying to convince everyone to play. Oh, also, it came from Atlas, so there's also that, and I love Atlas.
Atlas game that cheap?
Exactly. So.
What you described there? It kind of sounds to me like Paper Mario mixed with Murder Soul Suspect.
Murder Soul Suspect. I never played that one.
You're pretty much a detective who died, and where he's got to figure out who killed him, and you're also solving these problems that people are having in order to get information.
There you go. Yeah, that's basically right on the money. I mean, yeah, it says in the game's manual he's not dead per se. He's just, his body is out of order for now. So you wander as a spirit. You literally jump into someone else's body, take control of them, and solve whatever problem they have. I really liked it. I had a really good time with it, and I'm hoping to go through it again.
I mean,
come again?
So that's what the game's about. You've been kicked out of your body. The gods or whatever said, you're out. And then you're possessing other people and solving their problems, and that's how you. I mean, is there a? I know there's atonement, but is there a bad guy in this other than you're just trying to?
Oh yeah, there's that too. And as you get closer and closer to your salvation, you'll start to learn more about all that. I mean, why were the gods so pissed off at Reese, the main character, in the first place? Like, what did he do that was so despicable that they punished him like this? I don't want to give anything away, and I'll be honest. The story isn't like a Xenogears or I don't know, your FF7s. It's nothing that there's not that much depth, but it's still a good narrative. And as a main character, I think Reese is pretty cool. You don't learn that much about him. What's interesting though is you learn about the characters he possesses, and you get to see their relationships improve with one another, all because of the main character solving their dilemmas. So, does that answer that question?
Yeah. Is it did you say is it turn based, or I mean, what kind of like battle system or whatever?
It's turn-based, and the battles are random. No, they're not random. I'm sorry. You'll usually see enemies in the field, and you can, walk up to them or try to duck away from them. Well, I guess I can try to.
So like Mario RPG, kinda.
Yeah. It is turn-based like that. I mean, you can leave the game on in a battle, and you won't get attacked. Is that what you?
No, I meant like you could see them on the overworld, and then you can. If you run into them, then the battle starts.
Yep. Oh yeah. So
you got to speak like 16-bit RPG to me, because that was about when I quit.
Hey, that's okay. Mario RPG, and I go with Mario RPG as a little bit of a comparison, because it's like in that game, it's critical that you master time button presses. In this game, you definitely have to master those, otherwise you won't survive past the first couple of dungeons. And the boss battles they're brutal, but it's a good type of brutal. Like, it's a fun challenge. So,
It's that kind of where you get that sense of accomplishment when it's over with.
yeah, when I defeated the last boss, like I rejoiced. I was like, yes, I did it. Go me. I'm gonna buy myself a cookie and a glass of wine. So it was where it's like one of those I need to celebrate for a job well done type of game.
All right, cool.
Video games are serious business, so yeah, it was a job well done.
I'm not an RPG guy, but I mean, I'd like to look more into that one. And even if I don't play the game, I'm kind of curious what happens in the story, anyhow.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing, I mean, I'm not sure how much it is now, but when I bought it not too long ago, $5. I mean, that's a steal for a lengthy role-playing game. So, I'm not sure if I convinced anyone else on the panel, but that was my pick for this topic tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely one I'm gonna check out.
Good. Well, let me know what you think of it. If you do check it out, give it a shot, and yeah, if you have any questions, hey, let me know. Well, I think that covers that topic. We have about 15 minutes left. So do you guys think we have time to cover one more of our itinerary, if you will?
I'd say jump off in it. We'll go ahead and we can make it quick, anyhow.
Okay. Well, this is a topic that I'm going to let Mr. Nikon kind of introduce.
Okay.
So the floor is yours, Mr. Nikon.
All right, so at the time I'm doing some import gaming. Going on eBay, getting games, from Japan, off of eBay for Super Famicom or Japanese Dreamcast or the original Famicom, etc. Because a lot of games that were released in Japan never made their way out over here.
Right.
Or the Japanese version of the game is a hell of a lot cheaper than the American version or the North American version. So, mainly, like Mega Man 7.
Yeah.
I think I picked up Mega Man 7 and Mega Man or Rockman. I mean, do it correctly, Rockman 7 and Rockman X2.
We knew what you meant, but yeah.
Yeah, from Japan. I think I got both these guys for about $30.
Combined, $30.
Combined $30.
Whereas $30 wouldn't pay for a fraction of one of those games.
Of the U.S. version.
In the U.S. version, yeah, exactly.
Same games, it's just Japanese, text in these guys. So
we thought it would be interesting to maybe give some little tidbits of information on why you should import, maybe why you should not import, where to go to import, that sort of thing.
Yeah, best place I find is eBay. It's easy to get there. So I just search what I want, and I find stuff, or I'll just search for Super Famicom games, and a whole list comes up. I see something that looks interesting, I'll just buy it sometimes. Like I have been in the last couple weeks.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, you've been kind of on a shopping spree lately.
Yeah.
On eBay, buying import titles.
Yeah, that's where I got, these three guys, the Go-Go Ekman, like 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I got these three all together for about $30.
And also, you helped one of your favorite people out and bought some import titles as well, didn't you?
There we go. This guy right here.
That's the one. I want to touch it.
There you go.
He's holding up Romancing Saga for those who are listening in audio. It's the only Romancing Saga game I'm missing. So.
Yeah, and
also from eBay.
Also from eBay. The other thing, like shipping, that's another issue sometimes. These took about a week or so to get here, less than a week.
Yeah.
There were another two games that I think they just cleared customs. So, and I got that same time I got these guys. So,
yeah.
The shipping is a little issue sometimes, but if you don't mind waiting, it's not that bad. And those are.
You recommend eBay. What are some other places to to go buy some import titles?
I
This
think,
is for everyone.
yeah, Game
Well-
Gabble, I think.
Okay.
Here's something.
Zach, sorry, I did it again.
Yeah, no, that was fine. Anyways, Amazon now allows you to get items from Japan itself. I don't know if you can do free shipping if you got Prime, but if you go on the Japanese website, you can actually order stuff and have it brought over.
So you're saying go to Amazon.jp, not Amazon.com?
Right.
Okay.
And, there's more than just Japan that you can import games
Yeah.
from. I mean,
Europe.
yeah, that's how I got my physical copy of Infamous First Light.
Mhm.
Is that PAL the one you got there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And where, check out sites like PlayAsia.
Yeah, I was going to say Play Asia as well.
Yeah, because I just ordered a couple items from there, and where one of them is the Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, which only got a physical release in Japan and Asia, and where the Asian version does have English dialogue. And
That's really interesting.
that's one of those things that's interesting about that site is that they'll have the different versions, and where on it will list what has subtitles for what languages, and if the game actually has the actual dub of that language.
Okay.
And honestly, if you want cheap shipping, don't mind waiting, that's where to go.
Another thing.
Yeah.
I could bring up, I know most of you guys out there, you guys got the Retron 5,
Yeah.
which does
Hell yeah.
have translation patches for some of the stuff that is in Japanese or whatever language, but I still got the original Super Famicom, which looks a hell of a lot better than what we got here in North America.
I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
Europe and Japan, this is what they had. They had the original, this nice streamlined Super Famicom, nice control of the colorful buttons and all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we got this purple and gray,
Purple and gray.
blocky blob, ugly thing.
I actually like the U.S. design.
It's not horrible, but just the one that everyone else in the world got is so much more sleeker.
Yeah, I like that one better too. I mean, ours is okay. I mean, it works, but the Super Famicom is.
And also, it's extremely easy to modify a U.S. version. Just need to take out 2 little clips in it, and where you can play Japanese games in it.
Yeah, but
You-
it just
You're still SOL on PAL games, but
it just looks so much better when it goes in. It just got the nice curve and
Yeah, it's almost aerodynamic, if you will.
it looks so sexy.
It's got curves. So we talked about a little bit about where to buy.
Yeah.
eBay,
and another
Amazon, that stuff.
site I've heard of recently. I have yet to try. I know that the channel Noggin has been really pushing these guys, and where that's Samurai Buyer. From what I understand, it tends to be a lot cheaper because you're actually buying from the Japanese sites. It's just sort of a middleman to actually get the stuff.
Okay.
So when it comes to buying an import title, be it from Japan or Europe, are there various types of shipping options that you can do to speed up the process?
You could. There's EMS, which is the express mail. That
Okay.
costs hell expensive.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the carrying
thing.
cases.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's going to cost more money to get it faster, and even then, it's still probably got to go through customs.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the carrying case for the Super Famicom, I'm looking at them, they're charging like $70, $90 for express shipping on there.
Huh. Damn.
And most guys, when they do the games, they're doing registered mail now, which takes week and a half, 2 weeks. Then there's the cheapest way is do it by sea, which is they put it on a container on a boat, goes across the ocean, and you'll get it in 2-3 months if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Tariff, you've been kind of quiet over there. Do you have any advice for importing at all?
No.
No.
I've got nothing. I have one Famicom multi-cart, but it doesn't work on my Retron, so I was kind of upset about that. Famicom, just regular Famicom.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it came from. I just I ended up with it. It happens. I know it's weird, but it happens. As far as importing, I'm really, as soon as I get my NES set done, I'm gonna get into the PAL exclusives for the NES and the PAL label variants. I've about decided that because man, they look really cool. They just I think that'd be a neat little thing to do, and maybe it'd be fun to do. So that's I'm gonna jump into a different side of importing, more of the Western world, just a little different. I'm looking forward to it.
And we're looking forward to your progress. And honestly, I think we could probably take a whole hour segment and talk about import titles. We're nearing the end of our time now, so we gotta start wrapping stuff up. But I just feel like there's so much more to talk about. So I think for importing, we're gonna say to be continued.
yes.
Because there's a lot more I want to go over. There's a lot more I want to learn, and there's a lot more I want to show you guys about, like, some of the imports that I've got and how to play them in a language you can understand, and resources, and good walkthroughs, good guides to use. So that being said, thank you for joining us this evening. This episode will obviously be on YouTube, but it's also going to be available for in other places for you guys to listen. Let's see.
And hope you're listening to them on those places right now.
Yeah. Mr. Nikon, where else can we listen to Our Parents' Basement?
I almost said Twitter for a second.
If you could listen on Twitter, then hey, more power to you. But
No, but you can follow us.
You can follow us on Twitter, iTunes, and Stitcher is the other one.
Yes, sir.
YouTube. We'll have links on our on the Facebook site, the website. Probably Twitter.
And be sure to check us out on ourparentsbasement.com.
Yes.
Our Facebook is facebook.com/OPB podcast. We're at OPB podcast on Twitter. So y'all, there's plenty of ways to interact with us. Shoot me an email at opbpodcast@gmail.com. We want to talk to y'all. We want to know what y'all want us to talk about. What you interact with us a little bit. Let's have fun with this, man.
Comment, like, subscribe, message us on
Subscribe
Facebook.
everywhere.
Yes.
I want you to subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, please,
Yes.
because it'll be fun. I have an ego to stroke.
Giggity. And also, let us know what you thought of the Convince Me segment and of the What We've Been Playing Lately segment. Let us know what you think of those. Did we convince you to try something new? Is there something that you think we should try? We're all gamers. We love to, game the night away until our fingers go arthritic. So, let us know. Try to convince us to play something.
Yeah, if you want us to play a game, comment. We may play it, if it's not too expensive.
Yeah. Don't get crazy now, I mean. So.
Don't try to get us to play stadium events, in other words.
Yeah. You guys should play Little Samson. Like,
Well, I mean, I could play some other way. Yeah, we'll go to Arkansas and play Turf's copy. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. As usual, this was a really good time. I think it's time we started to sign off.
yes.
So.
Well, see you all next week. Listen to us next week, and thank you all for tuning in.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Peace.